All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SBL. We appreciate your patience as finding emergency subs is a bit of a hassle some weeks. But we're here, game one, week 7, Dive the Fountain versus Ornhub. I'm AJ0, and tonight I am here with Hibbs.
Hey y'all, how's it going? Ready for some League of Legends?
Yeah, and ready for some Conductor Dank, or more commonly known as UTech, going to be emergency subbing in here for DTF as both Mr. Coffee and Senpai were unavailable to play. And, well, things can't get a whole lot worse than they've been for this team. That's the silver lining here.
Yeah, they haven't won since week 2 when they took a game into the mid 40-minute mark. So really, there's a lot of concerns on this team, and Conductor Dank is not the most of their problems right now, I would say.
Yeah, so I don't know how much the Dank one has been keeping up with League of Legends. I know it's not much, so I really don't know what to expect here. But we have a bit of an idea of what to expect of the rest of this team, and that's Evolite trying his damnedest to carry, and the team being too heavy.
Yeah, the past couple weeks, Evolite gets a lot of flack for being a very safe player, a very like a KDA player, and I definitely think he is. But in a system where your side lanes are consistently going like 1-6, 2-7, just dying all the time, it's not good to really try to force things that you probably shouldn't. So if he just has one side lane, hang in there into the mid game, he might be able to do a little bit more in terms of being aggressive, but we'll see.
Yeah, and the other thing is he gets flack when people, I don't know what they want. They want him just the hired ints, like some of these games. I mean, I don't feel like he's just avoided fights. That's where he gets the kills for the KDA. And also, just worth adding, he's doing all this while drawing like 2 or 3 bans every week too. So
Yeah,
I've been very impressed with Evolites.
he's a dangerous player. He is good mechanically. He knows his combos. He does play very safe, so you can count on him not to feed a lane. You can count on him to keep up in CS. You can't count on a whole lot of pressure on that mid turret or roaming, but you're not really. That's not one man's job to win the game. It's a full team game. Everyone's got to cooperate, and this team has shown that they don't have a whole lot of synergy so far.
Well, speaking of carrying games and synergy and every other league buzzword I like, where the hell is the Seamerdinger going?
That's a bottom lane Heimerdinger, almost
That
certainly.
almost certainly. All right, so that's gonna be going up against the Jinx from the Mighty Wolf. So, this Jinx Xerath pick, are these just take long range to be able to take out Heimerdinger turret picks?
Dude, I don't know. The meta is pretty messed up right now. Heimerdinger just he just shoves. That's like his thing. He sets up his turrets and he shoves in the lane, and otherwise plays pretty safe. It makes bot lane pretty hard to gank. I don't know how it pairs with the Blitzcrank, to be honest, but we'll
That's
definitely see.
I'm somewhat confident that that's a UTech pick, the Blitzcrank. So it looks
Yeah,
like they're just trying to stick him to support. Maybe they're trying to get a bot lane that's easy to execute, but like you're hinting at, I don't know if there's a whole lot of natural synergy there. But, if I've learned anything from all the years of watching the SBL, it's that sometimes you don't need natural synergy when you could just have a Blitzcrank pop off.
yeah, and I think it's important to get UTech onto a champion that he's at least comfortable with, even if it is the Blitzcrank, which, I don't really like as a pick unless you're, you know, shown to be good at hook champions. And I don't think he's played League in a while, so I have no idea how he is on hook champions.
Oh, maybe those superior Dota mechanics are going to come in and it's going to be easy mode for him.
Yeah, Blitz is definitely more of a Dota hero than most heroes in League of Legends. He has an extremely pivotal ability that costs just like way too much mana. So, very Dota-like, and as we know, UTech, that's his preferred MOBA. Overall, though, I will say the Ornhub team is getting the picks that they've been comfortable with recently. Looking at disengaged champions, long range, Xerath, Poppy, Jinx is long range. So they're looking to set up, poke them down, take towers, and then look for picks here and there. But they're not looking to straight up 5v5 without a pretty big lead. So I think they're getting what they want.
Yeah,
But that's a champion.
Yeah, that was one of my next questions is where does Thor go down the list? Is he had the Nocturne and more importantly the Trundle taken away from him that he's relied on most of the season. He played the Camille once, but Camille didn't seem like the pick into this comp, so I'm not surprised to see a Sejuani here. That's one of those pretty traditional SPL team fighting jungle picks.
Yeah, for a long time Sejuani's been thought of as like a pure team fighting champion. But I think she works in the SBL as a pick champion. If you can land that ult with that Xerath and Jinx kind of following up, that person's going to die right away. So I think it's a pretty good utility pick. Always a strong jungler after her mini rework. So not a bad Thor pick since his others were banned away. We are going to get, I believe, an Evo like Kassadin though, which... could be kind of interesting. It's a little bit different than what he's been working with. A little bit more engage.
Yeah, that's not the pick I would have guessed, but you know, after 4 bans, sometimes the game changes a little. But very, very different than we're used to seeing out of Avalites. And I'm no mid lane expert, but I imagine it's going to be a kind of dicey lane playing that into the Xerath as well.
Yeah, I think he'll do okay with his magic shield. And Xerath can end up using a decent amount of mana with poke, even though he gets some of it back with his passive. I think he'll survive pretty well. I am worried about Sejuani kind of coming in early without his dash up yet. But if he's able to get to level 6, I do think he's going to look to try to roam around the map a bit more and get his teammates ahead, because he knows that's what he needs to do to win the game. He can't just be strong himself. He has to make sure that Ryzak is doing well. He has to make sure that East Coast Carry is doing well. So I think he's looking to do that with a little bit more of a versatile pick with Kassadin.
Yeah, and maybe that lane will come down to mostly the jungle interaction, which, well, it definitely looks like it's going to be in Ornhub's favor if I had to take a guess. Thor has been surprisingly good in the jungle this season. I know a lot of people were expecting that to be kind of the major flaw for Ornhub, and it hasn't really been the case. Meanwhile, Kaiser has struggled a bit.
I mean, I've seen Thor jungle pretty well in the past. On One Trick Bronies, he was my jungler, and this is basically the One Trick Bronies setup here, this team.
With better support.
With a hey, I was the ADC.
Okay, well, definitely a better ADC.
yeah, a little bit different setup down in the bot lane. So, but yeah, we've seen Thor have success on multiple roles. One thing that he does well is he knows his role on a team, and he'll pick for the team, and he ganks a lot. He's willing to put himself behind, which is good. Because the jungle role has not always been about carrying. So, although I do think on the opposition, Graves is a decent jungler, but he's not looking to gank a whole lot. He's more of a clear your whole jungle, bully you out of your jungle type of champion. And I think Kaiser is really pretty decent at pathing and stuff like that. So we could see a little bit of the jungle interaction early on.
Yeah, and especially with some of these picks that we were thinking might want to roam around the map a bit more, that could turn into a point of conflict, especially in DTF's case where they're going to be shoving the bot lane all game. But
yeah, this bot lane shove fight is going to be interesting because Mighty Wolf does like to shove the lane, and Heimerdinger will make it hard to do that. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe UTech not being as good of a player could give up some pressure with a missed hook, so they might be able to kind of come back there. But that's definitely going to be pivotal early on. If the Heimerdinger is doing well in lane, and it's like pretty even down there, I think we could be looking at possibly an upset. But if it goes the other way, where Jinx, is up 20, 30 CS and maybe a kill, they're just going to get steamrolled.
Yeah, and that's definitely, to me, the most important pick in this game is to Mighty Wolf on the Jinx, because Ornhub, they're sitting at 4-2. If you look at the games that Ornhub has won, to Mighty Wolf is popping off insanely hard. I mean, we're talking 9-2, 11-3, 8-1 kind of score lines in every single game that Ornhub has won. Whereas the 2 times they've lost, he's had to put up pretty mediocre score lines. There's a 4-8 in there, there's a 1-3 in there. So
Yeah.
there hasn't been any like middle ground. This team has won and lost by the Mighty Wolf having excellent games.
Yeah, other than the one Xayah game, he's had a pretty impressive season. Even in the other game that they lost, he did by far like the most damage in the game. So
Oh yeah, that was a game where his team was hard inting.
yes. And they do have oh no, they don't have Dougie, right? That was something that could have possibly happened. But they do have the full team, and I think they've been pretty successful with their full team, other than the DTF game that they lost. So
yeah, but that was a pretty surprising loss to DTF.
yeah, that was